The Galactic Council chamber fell into stunned silence as Ambassador Thor's three eyes widened in disbelief. The holographic display before them showed something that should have been impossible. A fleet so massive it defied every strategic calculation the Council had made about humanity. 800,000 vessels, whispered Council Prime Veltara, her crystalline features reflecting the blue light of the tactical display. That cannot be accurate. Humans have only been spacefaring for 2 centuries. Our intelligence reported no more than 12,000 ships in their entire fleet. Commander Sarah Chen stood at the podium, her expression carefully neutral despite the chaos her revelation had caused. She had waited 3 long years for this moment, watching as the Council's arrogance grew, as they dismissed humanity's warnings about the approaching devourers with patronizing smiles and empty promises. "The data is accurate, Council Prime," Sarah said, her voice cutting through the murmurs. "What you're seeing is humanity's reserve fleet, the Dreadnought Archive." Thor's mandibles clicked in agitation. "Reserve fleet? You expect us to believe that humans, barely advanced enough to achieve faster-than-light travel, somehow constructed 800,000 capital ships without any civilization noticing?" Sarah allowed herself a thin smile. "We didn't construct them, Ambassador. We found them." The chamber erupted into confused chatter. Sarah waited, letting the revelation sink in before continuing. 70 years ago, a mining expedition in the Kuiper Belt discovered an anomaly, a gravitational distortion that shouldn't have existed. When they investigated, they found a pocket dimension, artificially created, containing the remains of a war fought millions of years before humanity even existed. She gestured, and the hologram shifted, showing massive derelict vessels floating in an impossible space, their hulls covered in the dust of ages. We called it the Graveyard of Giants. 800,000 dreadnoughts from a civilization that predated even the eldest races in this council. They had fought something. We found records of a war against an enemy they called the Endless Hunger. The description matched perfectly with what we now know as the Devourers. Veltara leaned forward, her skepticism evident. "And you expect us to believe these ancient derelicts are functional? Technology millions of years old?" "Not functional," Sarah corrected. "Not at first. But humanity has one advantage that many overlook, Council Prime. We're stubborn. 70 years of reverse engineering, of studying every circuit and power conduit, of learning from technology so advanced it seemed like magic. We had the best minds from every nation working in absolute secrecy." She paused, her expression hardening. "We knew we couldn't trust the Council to help. You've made it abundantly clear that humans are considered second-class citizens in galactic society. When we warned you about the Devourers' approach 3 years ago, you laughed. You said we were paranoid primitives seeing threats in every shadow." Thor's skin flushed purple with indignation. "We had no evidence of—" "You had our evidence," Sarah interrupted, her voice sharp. "You simply chose not to believe it because it came from humans. So we prepared alone. We rebuilt those dreadnoughts. We adapted their weapons systems, merged their technology with our own. Every secret shipyard humanity possessed was converted. Every resource we could spare went into this project." The hologram changed again, showing sleek vessels that blended ancient alien design with recognizable human engineering. They were beautiful and terrifying, bristling with weapons that hummed with barely contained power. "The ancient builders left detailed records," Sarah continued. "They lost their war because they fought divided, because they couldn't unite their people in time. We learned from their mistake. For 70 years, every human government, every corporation, every independent colony worked together with a single purpose: survival." A new voice spoke up, Councillor Vex, representative of the Thesian Combine. "Even if what you say is true, Commander, operating such a fleet would require enormous resources. The power generation alone—" "We figured it out," Sarah said simply. "Humanity excels at problem-solving under pressure. We had to. The Devourers are 3 months away from Council space. Our projections show they'll reach the core worlds in less than a year." The chamber went silent again. Everyone knew the Devourers were approaching, but the Council had insisted there was time, that their conventional forces would be sufficient. "You've been preparing for war while pretending to be weak," Veltara said slowly, understanding dawning in her eyes. "You let us underestimate you," Sarah nodded. "We learned long ago that being underestimated can be an advantage. While you dismissed us as primitive, we were building the largest fleet in galactic history. While you debated and politicked, We were training crews and testing weapons that could shatter moons. She stepped closer to the holographic display, her hand sweeping across the fleet formations. The Dreadnought archive is fully operational as of last week. 800,000 ships, each carrying weapons designed to fight an enemy like the Devourers. We're ready. And what does humanity want in exchange for this fleet? ZX Thor asked, his voice cautious now, respectful. Sarah met his gaze steadily. Nothing. We're not bargaining. We're informing you that humanity will stand against the Devourers, with or without the Council's support. But we're offering you a choice: stand with us as equals or stand aside and watch us save a galaxy that never believed in us. The silence that followed was absolute. For centuries, the Council had dictated galactic policy, secure in their technological superiority. Now a species they'd considered barely civilized had revealed a trump card that changed everything. Feltara stood, her crystalline form reflecting the light of 800,000 ships. The Council will need to deliberate. No, Sarah interrupted firmly. The time for deliberation is over. The Devourers don't care about your protocols or your pride. In 3 months, they'll be here. Humanity is moving to intercept them at the Threshold Nebula. We'll hold the line there. She turned to leave, then paused. You have 72 hours to decide if you want to join us. After that, we launch with or without you. As Sarah walked out of the chamber, she heard the chaos erupt behind her. Voices raised in argument, disbelief, and finally grudging respect. Humanity had played its hand, revealing a secret that had been guarded for 3 generations. The galaxy would never underestimate them again. Behind her, the hologram continued to rotate, showing 800,000 ancient dreadnoughts, reborn under human hands, ready to face the darkness that had destroyed their original creators. This time, the outcome would be different. This time, humanity would make sure of it.